fantastic ride as he's cruising around out there.
Trouble at turn four. Turn four. It is Martin Truex that has slammed the wall in the middle of turns 3 and 4. That car continues to move forward now, trying to make it to the pit lane.
The third time today that Martin Truex Jr. has been involved in a Service Master clean caution.
One of the strangest things I have ever seen in a NASCAR event, long after the caution had come out, everybody seemed to be slowing down and coming through turn 2. All of a sudden I look up to see Jeff Burton, a veteran, pounding the rear end of Jeff Gordon, a veteran, turning Gordon hard into the outside wall. Both cars heavily damaged. We've been under caution for quite some time. It's going to be very, very interesting to hear the conversation that ensues between these two.
I'm watching the replay, and I'm like, Rob, I'm going like, what was that all about?
Yeah, it was one of those things, Mark, where I'm sure everybody listening to us, you watch something happen and you go, wait a minute, can I see that again? Because I don't believe I just saw what I did. That was one of those times.
Yeah, Jeff Burton doesn't usually do that kind of thing, but it looks like a little, at least one more edition of the Have At It boys here this season.
We're going to be curious to hear how this is broken down from the two principals, Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon. And Jeff Gordon is out of his car walking up toward the ambulance right now, it looks like, Rob.
Yeah, he's out, but I can tell you, he's got that walk that says, I am not happy, and I'm going to tell somebody about it. In fact, he's walking toward the ambulance, which is sitting right behind Jeff Burton's car, some 300 yards down the racetrack. So I'm going to keep an eye on these two.
You think they're going to put them in the same ambulance right now?
I don't know. I think now we've got some track officials running toward Jeff. Now there was an ambulance right behind his car, but would it surprise you to know he wasn't interested in climbing in that one?
Now Jeff Burton, it looks like, is walking towards
Jeff.
Oh my
goodness, they're going at it, guys. I mean, literally, Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton are doing battle here, kind of like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier in the old days.
They've got a couple of officials between them now separating, and Jeff Gordon is hot. And if those NASCAR officials weren't there, this would have gotten a lot more heated than it is right now, and this continues to go on.
Yeah, they're just kind of chit-chatting in not-so-friendly terms. Not sure we would really want a microphone down there. These are the two of the more mature spokespersons for our sport, and rarely do you see these guys really getting into it in anger with anybody, and you definitely wouldn't expect it with each other.
I'm still curious if they're going to put them both in the same ambulance. I don't think that would be the best move at this point. You know what? I'm kind of glad they did that, because what that does is that is a bigger Sports Center highlight than Kyle Busch flipping off an official.
They are getting into the same ambulance.
Well, also, I'm hoping they'll put an official in there with them. We'll continue this soap opera here at Texas Motor Speedway as we're under our 7th caution of the day, 141 laps to go. In all seriousness, glad both of those guys were able to get out and walk away from their cars. But as Rob Albright said, one of the more stranger episodes that we have ever seen unfold. A chance to see the replays a couple of times, and was exactly as you called it, under the yellow.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, guys, something had happened earlier, I've got to believe, to trigger Jeff Burton just coming up behind Jeff Gordon. And I think probably when he got there, he just wanted to get Jeff a little bit rattled and get him upset, but they were coming right off the banking of turn 2. And you know, when it's unloading from 24 degrees and going down to the 5 degrees of the backstretch, you catch a guy just in the wrong spot of the rear end of that car, and you hit him hard enough, you're going to turn him. And when he did, Jeff's car just turned into the outside wall. So what looked like it might have just been a little bump and go, and hey, I'm not happy with you, it's turned into something really significant.
2 race cars were tore up, and by the way, Jeff Gordon is the one who initiated the physical contact. The leaders are coming onto the pit lane right now. there was a physical confrontation between Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton. Gordon just walked up and immediately pushed Burton and then started to grab him, and they started to wrestle before two NASCAR officials able to jump in between those two and then calm things down, at least temporarily.
Thankfully, there were a couple of officials there. I think that could have gotten a lot nastier if there hadn't been somebody there to quickly intervene in that situation. Let's go to Steve Richards.
Jeff Burton walking along with him. And Jeff, talk about what happened. What led up to that situation?
Hey, they want you back over there. We just came off turn 4, and I gotta go.
Hold on, we'll stay with him here, guys. Well, he's going to run, guys. I think he's going to run. He says, I got to go. So maybe they're doing something with the car or whatever, but we're going to try to catch up with Jeff Burton. I'm not going to give up on him, man. We'll get him for you.
Thanks a lot, Steve Richards there. Jeff Burton, I heard somebody behind him say, we got to go. So then
that was Mike Dillon. That was team manager for RCR, Mike Dillon, who made that comment.
All right, let's go down. We'll check in with one of our Verizon pit reporters. Apparently a pretty big story brewing about the 48 pit crew possibly being swapped out for the Jeff Gordon pit crew now that Gordon's out of the race. And we'll follow up on that here in just a moment as Greg Biffle continues to pull away here at Texas Motor Speedway as we have got only 131 laps of action to go at Texas.
All right, so here as we approach the darkness here at Texas, and we'll go down to our infield care center again.
Now, Jeff Burton is here down in the garage, and I guess what all led up to this situation?
Honestly, I came off turn 4 with Jeff underneath me, and the sun's really bad off turn 4, and it's really hard to race over there right now, and I should have let him go, and I didn't, and caution came out. He pulled up next to me to express his displeasure, and he was right. You know, we don't need to be racing side by side right there right now. And I went to pull back up to him to acknowledge him. And when we did, I was turning left. I don't know, we hooked somehow. And when we hooked, around we went. And we got hooked up together. It's the stupidest thing I think I might have ever done. Like I said, I was pulling up next to him to acknowledge him to say, look, I'm cool, I got you. And we just got together and wrecked both cars.
How surprised were you when Jeff came after you with the fist?
I wasn't at all surprised. I went to go see him because I knew he was going to be mad. I knew he was going to be mad, and I fully expected it. You know, I don't blame him. Hell, I would have been mad if I was him too. I really don't blame him. He was mad, and I was right there, and he was wanting some of it.
Thanks for the time, Jeff Burton. Hermie?
Yeah, catching up with Jeff Gordon. Jeff, explain to us what went on the racetrack with you guys. In the race car, out of the race car? In the car first and out of it. Well, I mean, we were having a tough enough day with the DuPont Chevrolet, and, we were hoping that when the sun went down, we were going to be able to get it tuned in there and work away the front, but actually the car was about the best it's been right there. So we're slowly making our way forward. He got up to Jeff, and he went high going into 3, and I kind of went to about the second lane up, and he just drove all the way from the wall down on my door. Said the sun got in his eyes, but I just wasn't real happy about that, and just drove up next to him going into 1 after the caution came out to kind of say what was up with that, and then he just turned in my right rear and wrecked me. So it tore it up. I've experienced a lot of things in this sport, but I can't say I've experienced anything like that before, and from somebody that I've had a lot of respect for him. Jeff Burton's a great race car driver, but and then afterwards I was so mad I was just trying to think of how I could show him my displeasure, and I wanted to do a lot more than that, but I thought better of it, and we had our words and a little scuffle and got in the ambulance, and now we're back there trying to get it fixed. All right, that's Jeff Gordon, guys.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall inside the ambulance. That's what I would have.
And
liked.
you know what? Give credit to Jeff Burton. He took the blame. Said that was all my bad, and didn't blame Jeff Gordon for coming after him.
Do you honestly think though it was an accident? He just sort of accidentally hooked into him? I don't know.